Welcome to Dark Docent. My name is Jake. Join me as I guide my friend James down the paranormal rabbit hole, intended to prove the authenticity of a new case each week. This week, we're joined by our friends from the Kraken Cans Cast, Corey and Mike, and we're diving in to the man called Tarrare. How are we doing today, James?
I'm doing pretty good, actually. How are you?
I'm not bad, and I'm glad you answered with, something other than tired.
Well, I was going to say, I've loaded on enough caffeine this morning that I'm got about half an hour before the crash.
Perfect, we'll get through this fast. But I'm pretty excited right now.
Why is that?
We have a couple of guests on today. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Mike and Corey from the Kraken Cans Cast.
What's going on, fellas?
What's happening? I like how I'm glad you introduced me first. I feel like that's how it should be. Like rightfully so.
Left to right, at least how I'm looking at you guys.
Oh, am I top or upper left for you guys?
You're upper left.
You're directly above.
Okay, perfect. That's what. Perfect. It's
Yeah.
like the Brady Bunch. We can all look at each other during the episode.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, what's up, guys? Super glad we were able to get together and get an episode out on your channel. We had a blast for the episode you guys joined us ours. So
Yeah, we're excited to have you guys again.
yeah, this is cool.
Yeah, we had a great time on your episode, so we're hoping that we can try to match that with our episode here.
How are y'all doing?
Just another fine day in Pennsylvania. Like I was telling you guys earlier before we hit record, today's actually a pretty nice day out, and our weather lately has not been the best. One day it's cold, one day it's hot, one day it's cold. I'm hoping we start finding that nice warm zone and just kind of stay in it.
It's that time of year where we're wearing a coat in the morning and then a sleeveless shirt in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get you. Could you tell us a bit more about your show?
Yeah, so we're just two friends. We were friends. I would say in like high school and stuff. Corey's a little bit younger than me, and we hadn't talked to each other for probably a decade or more for sure. And we ended up running into each other at a wedding. It was my brother-in-law's wedding. Ran into Corey, got talking, ended up coaching t-ball together, and somehow got on the topic that we wanted to start a podcast. And you fast forward to today, and we're 80-some episodes deep into a comedy paranormal podcast where we try and take every topic and match it up with a craft beer to kind of go along. Some of them go along a lot better than other ones, but
Yeah.
it's I'm just shocked that we've been able to, and it's not every episode that we've had a beer, but we've had a solid probably 80 different beers we've had since doing the podcast. And to just find that many beers for that many topics, I'm kind of impressed. I mean, we've had to really reach for some of them.
Yeah, I thought we would definitely run out of beers pretty quick, but we have so many breweries around us that are just constantly pumping out stuff, and there's some that I would say are kind of tailored to like the stuff that we're talking about. So a lot of their names for their beers, relate with the stuff that we're going over. They're just constantly pumping out stuff, and if we're at the store, we'll grab it, keep it in my beer fridge, and then if a topic comes up and then we have it in there, it's like, yeah, hey, this is going to work great for that. So it's been incredible how, like Mike said, that we still are able to match up a beer with the topics, and we're 80 some deep. So
That's a great way to do it, too, saving some for later.
Yeah. And I mean, like, Evergreen Brewing literally came out with a Mothman while we were recording. Like, Mothman double IPA. So it sucked that we didn't use it for the Mothman episode. I had to bring it back. So, But we eventually used it.
Men in Black, right? I think we used it for Men in Black.
I think so. It was
Might have
Men
been.
in Black or it was Indrid Cold. I can't remember.
Yeah.
It was one of them.
Yeah.
How did you guys tackle Dry January there again? Sorry, Jake.
Sorry, I was going to say, I think it was Injured Cold, because I remember something different for the Men in Black episode.
Yeah, I think so. I used a beer from UFO Brewing for Mothman, and I thought that would have been perfect for Injured Cold. So I used Mothman. Not that he doesn't tie into Injured Cold, but I used Mothman for that episode because I figured you could just take them and swap them, and they work better. So that was my tie-in.
Yeah, fair enough. Sorry, James, what were you going to say?
I was just gonna say how I forgot. How did you guys tackle dry January again? Did you still have a beer even though you weren't drinking at the time?
Corey had a beer. I
was semi dry January, so that's what I'm rolling with.
I drank like a case of Sprite whenever we would record, and it would just leave the worst belches the entire time. It was miserable. I think I felt worse after drinking so many Sprites when we would record versus if I would have just had like two
Dude, you were
beers, but-
pounding them too. Like you were fucking pounding.
It was insane. I've never drank so many Sprites in my life.
I've never seen somebody drink so many Sprites in my life.
Oh man, yeah. We tried to. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
No,
We tried to set up dry January where we had an episode or two into January already, and then we put off the last episode as long as we could into February. So I think we only did 3, maybe 4 episodes. 'Cause I don't know how you guys record. We record weekly, like usually every Monday or Tuesday we get together.
Ours is very spontaneous. I'll text James and be like, come to my house. And then he'll come over and I'll be like, I got like 2 or 3 ready for you. And he's like, let's start with 1, you maniac.
There's only so much in me.
There's only so much nonsense you can hear from me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can only break your heart so many times in one night.
Yeah, we had an episode that was our most heated episode last time we recorded, and I almost came over the table onto James. I was so pissed. Coming soon. But we'll talk about that later. You guys said today that, you pounded back Sprites, pounded back beers, and Corey, you'd never seen Mike drink so many Sprites before, never seen anyone drink so many Sprites before. I'm curious if the thing we're talking about today could either match or exceed Mike in his gluttony. I have a story for you. It is 1772, just outside Lyon, France. A poor farming couple had just given birth to their first child, a perfectly healthy baby boy. A joyous occasion, especially back then. But as he grew, this boy developed quite the appetite. He would eat large portions of food, seconds, thirds, but eerily would remain hungry. By his late teens, even though he was thin and weighed a measly 100 pounds, he was eating a quarter of a cow's weight in food per day. And the way he ate seemed unnatural. His mouth was wide, and when he'd eat, it appeared to almost unhinge as he engulfed his meal. He was extremely thin, though his stomach would enlarge and deflate like a balloon. At this point, their son was eating them out of house and home. They were already poor enough, and their boy was sinking them into poverty. They made the tough choice of kicking them out of their home, leaving the burden of his gluttonous habits to the rest of France. But unbeknownst to them, they just kicked out what will become one of the most famous scientific marvels in not just France, but in the history of the entire world. James, Mike, Corey, have you heard of the man called Tarrare?
No, I gotta say this one's new to me.
Never heard of it.
No, but I am pumped.
I'm ready.
I still want to go in a competition for Sprites though. I'm just saying. Unhinging your jaw is not going to help you against me when we're just chugging Sprites over and over. But no, this is awesome. I've never heard of this one.
All right, cool.
Something about the French, I refuse to learn anything about them.
You're right.
Yeah, because them and Canada have like a big rivalry, right?
Yes.
The Quebecers,
Yeah, the Quebecers.
Quebecer heads.
they do not like the Eastern Canadians.
Western. Wrong side.
The Western Canadians.
James, you're from here. God damn it. Okay. Anyway.
What coast is this?
Yes.
Left one?
Close enough. Half points. All right. Well, let's get into this case. I'm excited to share this one with you guys. So in the early life of Tarrare, the world was not kind to him. And it wasn't easy for him either. As he would roam around France, he would beg, he would steal, not to get ahead financially necessarily, but to survive. Tarrare couldn't stop eating. His hunger was only getting worse. He found himself falling into a rough crowd of thieves and prostitutes to get by. He would help them with their illegal pursuits, and they would trade him food. But this would only get him so far. One day, his amazing eating ability was seen by a charlatan who ran a traveling show of street performers. He needed an eater as an opening act. At this time, eaters were a big act for snake oil salesmen, charlatans, street performers of all kinds. They would attract the crowd so that they could sell all their merchandise. When he first brought him in front of a crowd, come round, everyone see this magnificent man eat whatever you give him. He reportedly would eat an entire basket of apples, core and all. But he would also eat whatever the crowd gave him, including inedible objects like corks and stones. But, guys, when you really want to attract a crowd, it's not just feats of amazement. You need shock value. This is when Tarrare began to eat live animals. He would eat mice and rats, dead or alive, that the crowd would give him. He'd also eat snakes alive, and apparently these were his absolute favorite. A very disturbing report is when Tarrare devoured a kitten in front of an astonished crowd.
Damn.
Yeah, insane. And apparently he would just open his jaw like a snake, unhinge it, and just swallow it down. People believe this is where he got his name, because his name is not Tarrare, and we actually don't know what his real name was. Tarrare is an exclamation of amazement in French. So it's like, wow, or like some sort of sound like that. Something you'd see in a Batman comic. And people think that they called him Tarrare, as in, that's his name, wow, amazement, and it would attract people close. But there's another more disgusting reason they think Tarrare got his name.
Why is that, Jake?
I'll tell you, James.
Yeah, Jake, tell us.
Corey, I just said I'm going to tell you.
Well, you said you could tell me. Tell the rest of them, too.
Yeah, tell me. I need to hear, too.
Okay, I will tell you. I'll tell all three of you, I promise. Okay?
Thank
you listening?
you.
You listening? Everything's good?
Oui.
James, you're wearing pit vipers. I don't know if you're listening.
Oui.
Thank you. It may be linked to the phrase bonbon Tarrare, which is linked to explosions or boom. He ate a lot of things that he shouldn't, so his stomach didn't like him. He was known to have explosive fits of diarrhea, which people think led to his name, relating to explosion or boom. So I wanted to ask you guys, would you stop and watch this? Like, at this time, this is an amazing thing. Crowds gathered from all over just to spend their time watching this guy eat whatever they gave him. Would this impress you guys?
Well, I sure think it would. I don't think I've seen anyone intentionally unhinge their jaw before.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I know I would run home, but I'm trying to think what I would grab to bring back to watch somebody eat.
Or what you're going to feed him.
This is like if you ever rent a wood chipper and you're just thinking anything you can throw in a wood chipper because you want to see what happens. That's this guy eating stuff, though.
Oh, yeah.
You know what this guy reminds me of? I was talking to Mike about this the other day on our drive to Evergreen Brewery. You guys ever hear of Shoe Nice on YouTube?
That's the guy that drinks a whole bottle of liquor at once, right?
Yeah, like this dude he make videos of like him eating, drinking, like anything. And the one thing that sticks out to me, I mean, there's a ton obviously with this guy, but I remember the one episode he ate a dozen eggs, but they were raw eggs, shell. He ate the shell and everything. Like this dude would just eat. He's like kind of like an OG YouTube dude. Like he was like an OG YouTube influencer.
Yeah, that's a name I haven't heard in a long time now.
Yeah, but I don't know, for some reason.
He's probably dead.
He's a big fat fuck too, so like I'm just thinking of this. No, I looked him up recently. He's still alive because I was curious too. But it kind of reminds me of this guy. Just eating things for a show. And the one thing too I thought of is what was his name again?
Tarrare.
Tarrare. So when you said that, I was thinking like, at least in English, I was thinking too rare. Like this guy is too rare. Like he's one of the the rarest human beings, and that's kind of how I thought of it. Even though that's it was in French and everything else, but I was thinking like, oh yeah, too rare because this guy he's a rare amongst the bunch.
Oh yeah, no, this is an insane character, and we actually know there's a lot of history of a lot of different eaters, but lots of their news comes from pamphlets or newspapers at the time. Back in like the 1500s to 1800s, this is a bigger thing. However, Tarrare was the only one that's ever been scientifically analyzed. And we will get into all of the different experiments that they did on him.
Can I ask you something quick? Was he actually a big fella?
No. We will actually get into his size and everything, but he is been described as like regular size of the time, so probably 5.5 feet tall, and extremely slender. Like he never broke 100 pounds. You stayed around that weight.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah. But now I got to ask, what would you guys bring to feed him?
Probably something in my fridge that has gone bad and I can't eat it anymore.
You're a terrible human being.
Garbage disposal,
Yeah, something that's like growing in the back of the fridge. Yeah, for sure. I like that.
I'd probably bring in my recycling. That way I don't have to. That way I don't have to leave it out and pay for them to pick it up. I could just feed it to this guy.
Hey, and it would like bail inside him. You're already doing the first step of metal recycling. Look at you go.
And all I can think is, you said he ate rocks, and then he had explosive shits. That's got to be like a machine gun coming out. You know what I mean?
He was a precursor. Somebody saw that and started just writing stuff down. Like, we gotta use this at some point.
we gotta think. That's why they studied him. It's like this. We will finally be able to take over Britain if we figure this out.
They never see it coming.
Mike, you are more correct than you know.
It's that scares me. That scares me a lot.
Let us continue. As time went on, Tarrare became a star attraction in the street performer circuit. And Tarrare eventually realized that while he's with this traveling group, he'll only get part of the food. He's the star. This crowd is drawn by him. He could get all of the food. So, in 1788, Tarrare moved to Paris to continue his street performance of devouring whatever was in front of him. And, according to reports, he was moderately successful when he hit the big town. He was drawing large crowds, and people were doing the same thing they were doing in all the smaller towns that he went to, giving him different things to eat, and he would devour them without issue. And keep in mind, at this time, Tarrare is only 18 years old. He seemed like a prodigy, until one day, the act went horribly wrong. In the middle of a performance, Tarrare grabbed his midsection and collapsed in front of a terrified audience. He had suffered a major intestinal blockage. The crowd picked him up and carried him to the nearest hospital, Hotel Dieu, on top of them, like Spider-Man 2. At this hospital, he was treated with extremely powerful laxatives. And within the coming days, he had made a full recovery. And he offered to even show the surgeon, M. Gerard, by eating his watch and chain. The surgeon responded to him by saying, if he ate any of his things, he would cut him open right there and retrieve them.
Good response.
So his Rolodex of different things he could eat is starting to expand. What is the weirdest thing y'all have eaten?
So, I used to work with juvenile delinquents, and we got this one kid who was, I'm going to say, insane. I don't know, he was probably 15, 16 years old, but I remember I was on call this one night, and because I was the supervisor of the one site, so we had to like take turns being on call for weekends and stuff like that. I remember I got a call the one night, and this kid ate a light bulb, like a full on effing light bulb. So, and there was a couple other times after this because we kept this kid there because why not?
Doesn't sound like the brightest idea.
Yeah, not the brightest bulb, if you know what I mean. But yeah, that son of a bitch. Yeah, he ate a light bulb, like chewed it up and stuff, and then like obviously took him to the hospital and things like that. But that was probably the craziest thing that I've ever heard in regards to somebody eating something.
Now, I don't think I've eaten anything. I've eaten questionable food out of my fridge, but I mean, I'm still here. We're good. I remember I used to be in a bowling league down at like a local club, and the one day there's a state hospital, with different where they treat different people. They brought them out to go bowling that day. Well, there's one guy that then they would bring him out. They would have to weigh him before they brought him in the bowling alley, and because he would just eat and drink. And at one point, they went in the bathroom, and he was just in the bathroom at the sink, just drinking water as much as he could. This dude would never be full. It reminds me of this guy. He would just eat. So they would have to weigh him because he would just eat till his stomach just blew if they didn't pay attention to him enough. But yeah, I mean, I've eaten blue and purple crayons, but who hasn't? Play-Doh.
You got to try all the flavors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blue's the best. Trial and error. We got there.
James, do you have anything? Because I do have something I accidentally ate when I was younger.
Here, you can go ahead first.
So I was probably like 10, 11 years old, and I remember I was laying on my bed, and I was throwing a muzzle loader like ball up in the air, like for a gun.
Like a lead ball.
Yeah, lead ball, throwing it up in the air, right? Next thing I know...
This explains so much right now.
Yeah, I never told you about this.
No.
But that son of a bitch landed in my mouth and just went right down my throat. Like, it was... I just remember my eyes got huge. I'm like, holy shit. I just swallowed a freaking lead muzzle loader.
Did you tell
ball.
anybody?
Yeah, I told my mom and called my uncle who's a doctor and stuff. He's like, yeah, you'll poop it out. You're fine.
Did you poop it out?
I don't know.
Dude, that's still in you, I bet.
Yeah.
That's been leaching in you for years, dude.
Yeah, that's why we got
way to
this.
your brain.
Well, I'm glad you said that because I have two coincidental ones. I've never been much of an adventurous food eater, and I don't think I've really eaten anything like that. But I have been to France. I was in Paris for one day, and in that time, I did have escargot, a snail.
How was it?
Very fishy, I thought.
Okay.
And that's got to be one of the weirdest things I have honestly ever eaten. And then kind of tying into what you were saying, Corey, my brother, back when we were kids, we had one of those little plastic and foam baseball bats, and it had a hole in it, like down the tube or whatever. And some reason and somehow my brother held up the bat, and a nail, I don't know why it was in there, came out of the bat and straight down his mouth, just like that lead ball, or straight down his throat, and he swallowed it. And had to have been a few hours before I'm the one that told our parents. We were going to bed. I'm like, hey, my brother just swallowed a nail earlier. Rushed me to the neighbor's house so they can watch me, and off to the hospital they went.
Did they go in and get it?
No, the same thing. Just let nature take its course, and hopefully nothing bad happened, and nothing bad did happen.
Imagine that thing coming out sideways.
Oh, God.
Holy shit. No pun intended. That's just crazy. That's like, I'm shocked by that. Your brother swallowed a nail?
I think we were the ones that put it in there, and we were just playing with it somehow, some way. So that's how we knew it was a nail.
I'd much rather, if I had a kid come to me in the middle of the night and say that I throwed up line than, oh, my brother swallowed a nail.
Hey, how big was this nail we're talking though? Because I'm trying to. I need to know size wise. Like, are we talking?
It couldn't have been that big. I'd say it couldn't have been more than an inch or two.
Still, for a kid.
I knocked all my sister's teeth out with an N64 when she was like 5 or 6.
With the console?
Yeah, dude. My mom.
Where these stories are going.
I've never heard my mom drop so many F-bombs to this day. Like, I remember I was pulling the controller and she was like sitting on the ground playing. Like she was like 6, I was like 10, and the whole console fell off of the table it was sitting on, smashed her in the face, and knocked out like, I'm not even kidding, like all of her teeth.
Oh
And
my
there's just
god.
blood everywhere. My mom's F this, F you, like F bombs everywhere. And like we like rushed her to like the dentist.
Put the teeth on ice.
Dude, I still got like PTSD from that. Yeah. So she didn't. I don't think she swallowed any, but just all this talk made me just think of the time I knocked out all my sister's teeth.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah,
Man.
yeah.
I was on a Euro trip for high school senior year, and I was, out of all the 38 kids that went, I was the only boy. And there was...
Oh, yeah. This is your time to shine.
Yeah, right? Here's the thing, is I was a shit disturber and not a charmer. And there was a lot of horse girls on our trip.
Horse girls.
And yeah, they like horses. They ride horses. That's
Dude, that is not what I thought you meant. I thought you
not
meant
by
like
looks.
big teeth, long face. It's like, oh my goodness, that's a way to describe somebody.
Sorry, no, not in the literal sense. That'll be a different episode. No, all these girls enjoyed their horses and riding horses. So when I got, I think it was Hamburg in Germany, and they said this butcher shop gives you unique meats, including horse.
Oh.
I went right there and bought myself a big horse meal and just took pictures of me eating it so I could show them all when we got back to the bus. So that's what I did. That I think that was more important than flirting at the time. I was like, I need to shock these women.
That is awesome. Like
I think so.
I love that.
Here's the real question, though. How was it?
That's true.
Good, very strong flavor, similar to pepperoni almost.
Oh,
So, yeah, but it was good.
really makes you wonder, hey?
Anyway,
A.
yeah, you got to call it out, don't you? Oh, jeez,
Don't you?
don't ya? How about you shut your mouth there, you hoser? All right.
Yeah,
All right,
let's,
we're
hear
getting
more
off.
let's hear more about this guy.
Yeah.
A boot.
A boot. I'm working on it. A boot.
Talking all about Tarrare here, guys. All right, we're getting off track. I got to get back to the story. While Tarrare was a wonder in Paris, a lot of history was happening around him. For instance, the French Revolution happened in 1789, and now another war was about to break out. And this was called the War of the First Coalition, which is a lesser-known war, but it was fought between France and Austria and Prussia. And it's kind of confusing why they started it, but basically, the other countries were worried that the French were going to do another revolution, so instead of trying to make it peaceful, they decided to start a war to prevent them from starting any more wars.
Of course.
Like, they'll be so busy fighting us that they
Yeah.
won't be able to fight them other guys. This is perfect.
What if Canada attacked the U.S. to stop the Civil War?
It wouldn't work. We're leaving it at 1812. We just leave it there.
Well, what about there's always one upcoming, you know?
They developed stealth bombers. We made better syrup. It's not going to be the same. It's
Oh, I didn't say
Yeah,
it was a
but
fair
listen,
fight.
For a lot of like middle America, the syrup is much more important to us than the stealth bombers. So you can buy it your way into our love.
there you go. Very
Good to
true.
know.
Very true.
You can make your own militia.
The Maple Militia.
The Maple Militia. Yes.
That's a wrestling team. That has to be.
Oh man, if not, it should be.
Damn right. So, from what I could tell, it looked like Austria and Prussia were like talking about this, and then the French radicalists were like, "You're talking about fighting us? We're going to war." So France actually started it anyway. It's a very confusing war. There was a lot of pieces to it. But essentially, basic terms, it was to hopefully extinguish revolutionary ideas. And Tarrare was no coward. Tarrare joined the French Revolutionary Army to aid in the war effort. There's only one problem. Tarrare looked extremely ill 24/7. This is because he was limited to army rations. So this wasn't enough for him, and he was constantly gasping for air and looking lethargic and rifling around for whatever food he could find. Because of his extraordinary appetite, he was actually allotted 4 times the amount of rations given to soldiers. But still, Tarrare was not satisfied.
I'm worried about where this is going.
You should be.
The writing's on the wall.
He was caught on several occasions rifling through garbage to quench his hunger. He would even trade tasks to other soldiers for their rations. And he was scavenging through gutters, dung heaps, whatever he could find, but nothing would satisfy his incessant starvation. Tarrare was eventually too weak to fight in this war, and he was admitted to Suzufore, a military hospital, with extreme exhaustion. Now, the doctors could not wrap their head around what was causing his insatiable hunger. And they also had to keep an eye on him, because he was caught on several occasions stealing other patients' food, and also taking their food scraps when they were done. He even broke into the hospital's apothecary and was caught eating all sorts of medicine and poultice, which is a moist heated mass applied to reduce pain and inflammation. And it at least had some herbs in it, so that was kind of food, but all their medicine was just eaten. He was just going through all the medicine cabinets. At this point, they are less concerned about his affliction and more interested about how much could this guy actually eat. So, Tarrare was ordered to stay at the military hospital with 2 men, Surgeon Dr. Corvel and Surgeon-in-Chief of the hospital, Dr. Pierre-François Percy. They wanted to do some experiments and see how much he could eat before he got full. So a massive dinner was prepared for 15 people to see just how much Tarrare could eat. The dinner was composed of 2 large meat pies, 4 bowls of curdled milk, 2 enormous hard puddings, and several plates of grease and salt. Most of the time, Tarrare was chained up in this hospital, but during this, they took his chains off just to see what he would do. He jumped on the table like a savage animal and ate all of this and fell asleep instantaneously. During another test, Tarrare was presented a live cat, which he viciously ripped open with his teeth, drank its blood, and then ate the entire cat except the bones, and then he proceeded to vomit up the remnants of fur and skin. Tarrare was given snakes, lizards, puppies, all of which he engulfed without hesitation or remorse. But there was one animal that he had a method for eating, and that was a live eel. He would eat this eel by grabbing it and then crushing its head with his teeth. He would then swallow the entire animal whole without chewing. During this test, they didn't just write down what they gave him and all of his different acts of disgust, but they also wrote down his very strange appearance. Tarrare was slim, with an average height. He had unusually soft and fine hair, and an abnormally wide mouth with lips almost non-existent and extremely stained teeth. When he hadn't eaten, his belly hung so loose that he could wrap it around his waist like a belt. When he was full, it expanded like a balloon. He also had wrinkled cheeks that hung loose just like his stomach, but these could stretch out like a squirrel, and he could hold a dozen eggs or multiple apples in his mouth at one time. He was extremely hot to the touch, he sweated heavily and constantly. He had horrid body odor, which was described as, quote, smelling to such a degree that he could not be endured for 20 paces. The smell only worsened after he had eaten. His eyes and cheeks would become bloodshot, and it was said that he had a visible odor arise from his body. After he ate, he became extremely lethargic, burped noisily without shame, and his jaws would make swallowing motions, which I can't really picture. I don't really know what he's doing with that. And as stated, he had chronic diarrhea, which was, quote, fated beyond all conception. No matter how much he ate, he did not excessively vomit or gain any weight. Other than his diet, they also took note of his personality. He was said to have a apathetic temperament and, quote, devoid of force and ideas. What are you thinking about Tarrare right now?
He sounds so hungry that he could eat a horse.
Don't you dare compare me, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, Jake, is this secretly you?
No.
Backstory.
Shut up.
Origin story of the podcast coming up.
Jake's a fat, dumb fuck and wanted to talk about Bigfoot. That's the origin story.
Nah, dude, there's some real mental issues going on here, though.
Yeah.
I guess it would leave you void of, I guess, certain emotions. Just your parents kicking you out of the house when you're how old, letting you live on the street. So I'm sure there's certain emotions of apathy that you just don't have anymore. But there's other stuff. No one just eats a cat.
No, without remorse, just swallowing a cat whole.
Yeah, just eats a cat, and that's weird. Just eating eels like spaghettis and stuff, that's weird.
That gives me the creeps, eating the eel, like just swallowing it whole.
Has a method for it, too.
Yeah, I like the way that was right. There's a method.
There was
he
a
bites
method.
the head first before he right up like a piece of spaghetti.
That's the thing, is as the story goes on, it's like at first it's like, oh, he's just eating things, just throwing it in his mouth, whatever he can do to eat it. But as he goes on, he seems to get creative with how he's eating them. Like he's getting bored with just the base eating it. Like with the cat, he tore it open with its teeth and drank its blood first, and like got grim and creative with it at the same time.
I mean, it kind of makes sense. It's his only hobby.
Yeah, you might as well try different things with it, right? It's like, doing a backhand shot in hockey. Like just try something different, see what happens. So
Do you want to bring up hockey? You want to bring up hockey?
I regret it. No, shut up.
Oh no, I think my internet's cutting out.
What's that? Episode's canceled. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Keep talking about your metal. We got the stuffies.
Hey, I do got one thought about this guy.
Yeah.
I just want to see, has he ever swallowed a sword?
I have not found anything of him swallowing a sword, because the sword swallowers, like, they're about putting it down and then pulling it out.
And some bitch would eat the whole thing. You're right.
Tarrare didn't want to pull anything out of his mouth. He wanted to eat it.
Yeah.
All
right.
So, yeah, I tried to look it up, but apparently he was just about eating things. He did not care for the trick of it all.
And another thing, too, I was thinking about him. He's eating all this. He's just eating everything. I feel like his shit would be pretty goddamn solid.
They said that it was just chronic diarrhea.
Why?
You got to be hydrated for that. So hopefully he's drinking some water in there.
I'm just thinking this some bitch is eating like everything. Like he's eating like whatever you throw him, whatever you give him. Some of that stuff can't be digested.
Yeah, but I feel like your gut's got to be in there. I see what you're saying, but I feel like you got to be in your gut enough. Like when you're stuffing sausage, you got to take your time stuffing a sausage, make it good and firm. It's just flying through there. It's just pudding.
With some big chunks is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, there's some chunks for sure, yeah.
Okay.
I'm also curious about, of course, it would make sense that it wouldn't be all liquid, but he did say in this report that he spat up the fur and whatever he couldn't digest properly. Like, almost like an owl pellet, I guess.
Hairball.
Exactly
We call that a hairball.
Yeah.
Hairball. Yeah, so,
the owl pellet's right where my mind went.
Yeah, so like if he had all this stuff, maybe he had a way to spit up some of the solids and just everything else went out the other way. Either way, it's incredibly disgusting. After months of these experiments, the higher-ups began pressuring for Tarrare to return to the battlefront.
Why?
They needed men. They needed everyone they could.
We need to dispose of bodies. The little weird guy that eats stuff up here. We're running out of room in the morgue.
Mike, are you some sort of psychic or something?
What else would he do? I don't know.
Hey, Jake, when you said he was eating quartz, like early on, I thought you said corpses. Like that's whole
corpse.
Yeah, I thought you said corpse. So like the whole time, I realized you said quartz, but then the whole time I'm just picturing this guy eating dead bodies. So I'm glad Mike brought that in then.
Yeah.
let's be glad that he is not eating bodies. He's not insane yet.
Uh,
But yeah, no, he's a good guy. He's a good guy. It's just a little messed up.
Yeah. What if you go wrong?
they're just out in battle and they're storming the enemy lines, and the guy next to him gets shot and he's laying there. It's like, holy hell, look at the hams on that guy. I gotta get in there. Starts just eating his leg right away.
I like seeing him like in the trenches with like three guys. It's like one guy gets shot. He like looks at the other guys like, you gonna eat that? Like
Dibs.
So after months of these experiments, higher ups began pressuring for Tarrare to return to the battlefront. But Corville wanted to continue the experiments. He's not done feeding this guy. And he began to form an idea. He went to General Alexander de Beauharnais and suggested using Tarrare's strange condition for military use. What do you think they would use Tarrare for in the military?
Espionage.
Go. I need to hear more.
Oh, waiting for me, hey?
That's it.
Not moving past that one? Okay, shit.
Not letting you sit back with these one-word answers.
It's like it's like a court jester, right? Have the silly guy that eats stuff go like a party clown doing tricks for the other guys, but really he's listening in, see what he can learn. Maybe he eats their garbage and read something. I don't know.
Okay.
Dude,
I was really hoping we were going to move on.
I got a good idea.
All right.
I think they were using some special new weaponry here, right? And this son of a bitch was eating all the evidence left behind. That way the enemy couldn't pick up on what they were using.
Okay, there's another good theory. Mike, what do you think?
Corpse removal. That's,
Okay,
he's got to be used for corpse removal.
All right, going with the obvious one. I like it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. Well, one of you was kind of right.
Thank you.
So confident.
It was the confidence that got me.
They were wondering if Tarrare ate something, would it come out unscathed? They placed a document in a wooden box and fed this box to Tarrare. 2 days later, the box was excreted and the document was unharmed and still legible. They wanted to use Tarrare as a military courier, delivering important messages behind enemy lines. Now, this is just Corville talking to the general. Beauharnais just looks at him and goes, "This is fucking brilliant." And he wanted to show his abilities to the fellow commanders of the army. So they all came in. He told them that they ate this wooden box and he excreted it out and the message was unharmed. And he wanted to show how much this guy could actually eat. So the commanders all came in, looked at Tarrare, and for successfully eating and excreting this document, he was gifted a wheelbarrow filled with 30 pounds of raw bull's lungs and livers, which he immediately devoured all of it in front of all of the army commanders. Right after this, Tarrare was officially employed as a French spy.
Yes!
Dude, that's crazy.
I knew it. I was right. I'm always right.
Settle down.
I will never question James again. When he gives one-word answers, I will just nod and we will move on.
The amount of times this son of a bitch has spoiled his own episodes. Like, he just guesses, like, there's probably this, probably this, probably this. I'm like, you want to tell the story? I don't. It's like... His first job was to deliver a message to a French colonel who was imprisoned by the Prussians near Neustadt. He was told the documents were of great military importance. So Tarrare's proud. He's fighting for his country now. He is something important. He's Black Ops, baby. Tarrare swallowed the box and crossed the Prussian border at night, disguised as a German peasant. Here's the problem. He looks the way he does, and he speaks absolutely no German whatsoever. The authorities were alerted very quickly, and Tarrare was captured that night. He was then brought in front of their commander, General Ziegler, but he wouldn't talk. He was then imprisoned and tortured for 24 hours. And Tarrare finally relented and told them everything.
I'm so hungry.
Wait, he told them everything out of his mouth or out of his ass?
Out of his mouth first.
Because the message is coming through his asshole, right?
Yes.
Do you think the torture was just eating food in front of him?
Probably. I would not doubt that. So here's the thing. Tarrare doesn't know what this message says. He only knows it's of great importance. He finally relented and told them, I swallowed a box, and it's going to contain very important military documents that I'm trying to get to a French colonel that you guys have captured. Okay, so they're a little shocked by this, but he's adamant that it's the truth. So he was chained to a latrine, and after 30 hours, the box was excreted. Ziegler opened the box, read the message, and was furious. The message said, let us know if you get this message. That was it. Ziegler was furious, and Tarrare was heartbroken.
Did he kill Tarrare because of this?
He was about to. Tarrare was instantly taken to the gallows to be hung that day. But before the trapdoor could be opened,
he fucking ate it. He fucking ate the trapdoor.
They keep trying to put the rope around his neck. He just, no. It's like,
that dude was chained up for like 30 hours, and he didn't have anything to eat, I'm assuming. He's got to be about dead.
Yeah, no, I couldn't imagine what he's going through at this moment. He is just heartbroken, hungry, disgusting. There's shit everywhere. It's a bad time. So whenever you're feeling bad about where you are in life, just think about where Tarrare is right now. So Ziegler had a change of heart, though. Looking at how pathetic this man was on the gallows, he decided to take Tarrare down and not hang him. He decided to be merciful and beat him severely and release him at French lines. So they just beat the absolute hell out of him and then gave him back to the French.
Respect.
Really, he's more of a liability for the French if you give him back. It's like, hey, go over there, eat their food, eat their rations, get back over there and do some damage.
It sounds like at the end of the day, he hasn't been too valuable so far. So
no,
for anybody,
no. And he's like, they spent 4 months just doing experiments on their guy. These doctors were doing it was their 2 highest ranked military doctors, and they spent 4 months just feeding this guy shit to see what he could eat. And the guys are like, we're like, people are getting shot, and they're like, hold on, this guy's gonna eat another plate of grease.
I mean, would you do anything different?
No, I'm not saying that they're wrong. I'm just saying this.
I could just imagine them like walking back to his room every day, and it's like, what do you think? 48 cans of tuna today? It's like, yeah, we'll go with that. All can. Don't even take it out. Just give it to him.
Dude, I'm picturing this this box this guy's eating is like this big box with this little letter inside of it. And it's like, why are we feeding him such a big box for this little letter? Like, come on.
He's so hungry.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to see if he could? And the guys are like, understood, do it.
Yeah. They just kept making the box bigger and bigger and bigger. They're like, all right, we got it right here.
Perfect. I think 1 foot by 7 inches is a good sized box for him to eat.
Has he turned down anything ever to eat?
No. Not a single thing.
What would he turn down? Let's think of that.
What would be too gross for Tarrare to eat?
I mean, we still haven't heard him eat a person yet.
It's true.
I would like to see Tarrare like eating everything like this, but he just doesn't like tomatoes. Like, he's just fussy about one thing. Like, no, sorry.
I mean, it's understandable. They're kind of gross.
Yeah, it's great that you specifically said tomatoes because I got yelled at the dinner table from my wife tonight for not eating my tomatoes.
Dude, they're
specifically
fucking gross.
Tomatoes.
They're
terrible.
fucking gross.
They're terrible.
Okay?
They taste like dirt.
Yeah, and tomatoes ruin the burger. I don't care what anyone says. Yes.
Ketchup.
Yes.
Fuck ketchup, too. I'm just throwing that out there.
All right, now you've lost me.
Don't get fucking ridiculous, Corey. Mute your mic for 5 minutes. This is ridiculous.
I really hate cheeseburgers, guys. You with me?
Yeah.
James, you're lucky I already hate you.
Yeah, lucky me.
You guys ever have pizza? It's god awful.
Got tomato sauce on it.
You guys got that in Canada? You got pizza over there in Canada?
No, actually, I had it once when I was stopped in Seattle, but that was about it. I think it's from Alibaba's.
Is it similar to walrus?
It's pretty close. Just imagine a walrus pie with tomatoes on it. You pretty much got it.
No wonder your country's in the state it's in. God damn.
Oh, man. Pizza's the least of our worries, trust me. My God.
So after this, Tarrare is at an all-time low. He'd been beaten, embarrassed. He failed his country. So he had to turn to the one person who could help him. And that's Dr. Pierre-François Percy, the man who ran all the experiments on him.
I thought for sure you were going to say Chef Boyardee. I don't know why. I thought that's just coming out. It just made the most sense in that moment. The one person that's never failed him.
I was thinking Joey Chestnut. That's what I was thinking.
Chestnut. Oh, yeah.
Mad respect for the hot dog community.
He begged Dr. Percy to cure his appetite, whatever it took. He had had enough of this burden on his life. Percy began treatment with the greatest medicines of the time: the opiate laudanum, white vinegar, tobacco pills, and large quantities of hard-boiled eggs. But none of these miracle drugs worked. They tried to put Tarrare on a diet, but his lack of discipline caused these attempts to fail. He was caught several times finding leftover guts outside butcher shops, fighting stray dogs for rotting meat in the street, and even just eating garbage found in alleys around the hospital. But then, things took a dark turn. Tarrare was caught drinking the blood of patients who were undergoing bloodletting, and he was found in the morgue, eating a body.
Oh, snap.
No fucking way.
Yeah, Mike.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was
That's
only
what I'm
going up.
talking
It had to reach this point.
I figured we were getting there eventually.
When the doctors found him doing this, they believed that Tarrare was mentally ill. No shit. And should be put in an asylum. But Percy was adamant and sure that he could find a cure for this man. Tarrare was a pet project for him. He felt an attachment with this strange-looking guy, and he wanted to fix him. So due to Percy's seniority in the hospital staff, Tarrare remained. But Percy would go on to regret this decision.
Percy's like, if we put him in an asylum, who the hell's going to fight the stray dogs outside my house? You know what I mean? What the hell?
It's so fun to watch.
Yeah.
We've been giving Tarrare food. Have we thought about giving him a knife?
Yeah, we should. He'd be eating those dogs instead of fighting them. Oh, man. This whole story is just total insanity. It's
I count as a cryptid or what?
We'll get there. We'll get there. Be patient, James.
Sorry.
I told you, Steve. It's a ride I'm taking you on. You gotta.
You know I don't listen.
I know. it's the constant.
You know I don't listen.
Yeah, shit. Sorry about that.
Sorry about that there, bud. But shortly after this is where it went beyond the limits of defending Tarrare. After this, a 14-month-old child went missing in the hospital. This child was never found. The hospital staff instantly accused Tarrare. At this point, Percy was unwilling to defend Tarrare, and he was exiled from the hospital. So, it seems like to me, it's just like, you know how when people get a lot of money, or they get a lot of things, but they're never satisfied, and they just go to more extremes of something they could do to fill a void? It seems like Tarrare's doing that with food. Basic meals aren't satisfying him. Inanimate objects aren't satisfying him. Live animals aren't satisfying him. Nothing. And he's going more and more and more extreme. And the only time I could find Tarrare wasn't so focused on eating was when he was a military courier. It almost looked like it gave him purpose. They gifted him food, but he didn't seem to be dying or ill like he was in the front lines. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking this guy just has a major void in his life, and probably something wrong upstairs that combines into this.
You said he went 30 hours when he was chained up and everything, prisoner and all that. And it's not like the dude squealed. I mean, he went a long time without. So he took this real serious, you know?
He did. Yeah. It seemed like that gave him some purpose. Unfortunately, though, it was not a happy end for Tarrare.
I can't believe that.
Sorry, Corey, were you going to say something?
I was just gonna say I just keep thinking of Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah?
You know how he started small, worked his way up. I feel like this guy, same thing. He started small with different meals and stuff, worked his way up, and then started drinking human blood or whatever. And he just kept going until he got to a place where he couldn't really go any further as far as eating things.
Yeah. It's pretty similar. Yeah, you could never find that what he wanted or what he needed out of it. 4 years later, it's 1798. Percy is working at the hospital when he is contacted by another doctor by mail. This doctor told Percy that a patient at their hospital in Versailles wished to see him. This man was Tarrare. He hadn't seen or heard from Tarrare in 4 years. So Percy went to Versailles, and he saw Tarrare, but he wasn't the same. Tarrare was weak, he was bedridden, and he looked like he was dying. At this point, Tarrare is only 26 years old. Percy began to speak with Tarrare, and according to Tarrare, he had swallowed a golden fork 2 years prior. And he believed that was what was causing him so much trouble. He was hoping Dr. Percy could find a way to get it out of him. But Percy knew there was a lot more wrong than just that. Tarrare had developed tuberculosis. There was nothing they could do. 1 month later, Tarrare died of a combination of tuberculosis and exudative diarrhea. Though tragic, doctors were a little excited. They thought they could finally dissect Tarrare and find out what caused this insatiable hunger he had. Many doctors refused because the man smelt terrible. No one wanted to get within 20 feet of this guy. But one doctor, M. Tessier, wanted to know more. He wanted to know what his organs like. Was there a golden fork? Was he human? So Tessier performed the autopsy. And the findings of the autopsy are still talked about in medical journals today. The autopsy found that Tarrare's esophagus was extremely wide. And if they tilted his head back and opened up his mouth, they could easily see right down into the pit of his stomach. His body was filled with pockets of pus. His liver and gallbladder were enlarged. And his stomach was massive and covered in ulcers. It actually took up the majority of his midsection, and no golden fork was ever found. So, the reason Tarrare is such a strange case is because, again, like I said, we have medical journals talking about him. No other eaters from this time period, or from any other time, had an autopsy done like this. This is the first time we had actual doctors analyzing someone like this. We still don't really know what Tarrare was or how he got these afflictions. What are you guys thinking about Tarrare? Do you guys have any theories off the top of your head before I get into some of the bigger theories doctors have brought up?
So I've been looking into stuff with the whole Epstein files and with like cannibalism and how it really impacts the brain, changes the brain, causes different diseases and stuff. So if this guy was engaging in some type of cannibalism, could it have impacted, his brain chemistry, change some things around up there? That's kind of where my thoughts go.
I think there's something to that because it did ramp up. Like it started with human blood and then it ramped very quickly after that. So there is something I think to that.
Yeah, so that's kind of where like my mind goes.
Yeah, I just wonder if it was with his body, with the enlarged stomach and everything. Like the human body isn't made to be like that. So the human brain isn't meant to be able to react to a body like this. It was almost a case of this body being so wrong that the brain had no idea how to even react to this, and the only thing it could do is just send signals to him all the time: hungry, 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 hungry. And which at that point he's almost plagued by an addiction. The same way people are addicted to heroin, meth, whatever today. He's plagued by hunger all the time.
Yeah, I don't know the exact science behind it, so I'll probably get something wrong, but I do know that the gut has a lot to do with the way we think and interacts with our brain a lot. I don't know if there's any quote unquote neurons down there, but I do know like I say, our gut and the bacteria in it do affect a lot of the way we think and behave. So if we're getting really weird and conspiracy with it, I wonder if there's something going on with maybe some like alien bacteria in his gut or something somehow. Some weird mutation in the bacteria itself down there that's caused all this to go nuts.
Yeah, I think there's something to all of that. And the theories do range all over the place. And as I said before, there have been other cases similar to Tarrare. There was a man named Nicholas Wood, who was also called the Great Eater of Kent, who lived about 200 years prior to Tarrare in England. And it was said that he could eat 84 rabbits, 30 dozen pigeons, or entire hogs in a single sitting.
30 dozen?
30 dozen. Here's the difference. All these stories about these other eaters, like Nicholas Wood, were in pamphlets and newsletters at the time. Tarrare is the only one that was scientifically analyzed. So, kind of a bit of a game of telephone, people exaggerating things for newspapers to sell them makes more sense. But when it comes to Dr. Percy, who wrote this report in 1804, 6 years after Tarrare had died, he had reports prior, and then a few other doctors like M. Tessier and Dr. Courville, they all had reports, and then there was a master report done in 1804. So we actually have like doctors' records that show all this. People still debate if he's a real guy, but I don't understand why a doctor would make up somebody.
There certainly isn't any sort of track record for doctors in Europe way back in the day, I'm sure.
Not yet. Yes.
I feel like the only way I could see a doctor making something like this up is trying to almost justify whatever happened to this 15-month-old baby that I mean, at this point, we really don't totally know what happened to this baby. So that would be the only reason I could see through all this, that maybe the doctor would make something up, throw somebody under the bus, whatever.
Right. So here's some of the theories on what Tarrare could have been. The first major theory that everyone brings up with Tarrare is hyperthyroidism. It's an endocrine disease where the thyroid gland produces excessive thyroid hormones. It can cause sleep deprivation, heat intolerance, fast heartbeat, diarrhea, weight loss, among other things. And it's less of a theory that this is the main thing, but more of a condition that led to what Tarrare could have been. Another thing they think added to this was an injured amygdala, which caused polyphagia. So the injuries to the amygdala, they are the primary role in the brain for memory, decision-making, emotional responses, including fear, anxiety, aggression. And this leads to polyphagia, which is abnormally strong, incessant sensation of hunger or desire to eat or overeat. So they think maybe there's a combination of hyperthyroidism and maybe an injury to the brain causing this polyphagia, making this unique individual. But again, it doesn't explain why his mouth was so big, why his esophagus was so wide, all these different physical attributes he had. So another idea they think maybe causing him to be even more rare was he had chronic pica, which is a compulsion to eat non-food items. I'm sure
That's what I was thinking too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a common thing people would think. And people with pica, they eat everything from corks, stones, garbage. You've seen My Strange Addiction. People have weird things they eat, and sometimes. And
I heard there was a guy that ate a whole plane.
There was a guy who ate an entire plane. Yes, that is true.
Not in one sitting, presumably.
No, it was like he put it down to little itsy bitsy parts, and he was eating, and he actually did eat it. And they think maybe he had pica crossed with a tapeworm, which is why he stayed thin and why he looked so unhealthy all the time. And some people think that all of this combined also crossed with the possible genetic tissue disorder causing his flabby skin in his stomach and his cheeks could make this strange anomaly that we know now as Tarrare.
Just really unlucky and super messed up.
Yeah, basically. But this wouldn't be our show if I didn't have some paranormal theories.
Perfect.
The leading paranormal theory is Tarrare was a demon. Tarrare had visible odor lines according to reports, a zombie-like apathy, and immense body heat, which leads some to believe that he is a demon, possibly representing the sin of gluttony.
Sure.
Sure.
I mean, I'd be in France if I was anywhere, so that makes sense.
This is true. So, lots of people think, especially with the different physical traits, maybe he wasn't quite human. They didn't have DNA back then. Lots of people seem to think that maybe he was a demon due to these strange physical traits. However, there is another theory. Tarrare was cursed. Someone cursed him a long time ago, causing this insane hunger that couldn't be quenched no matter what he did. Unfortunately, with these kinds of theories, I like to see more of what the family is like, and if they had any attachments, things like this, but unfortunately, the only history we really have of Tarrare is these medical records. So, I don't really think there's any credence to that. It's just people shouting, curse because fuck you. And that's about it.
Have you heard of the book Thinner by Stephen King?
Yep.
That was a curse, and I think there's some parallels there.
I'm curious if Stephen King based it on this.
Or maybe this is based off Stephen King.
No.
I think it's probably based off Stephen King, if I had to guess. Ever since James nailed the espionage, I'm on his side for everything.
You sound like every other person who listens to our show, Mike.
I don't know if I would totally be buying the demon thing at all. I could see a curse more than the demon thing. The demon aspect of it just doesn't quite make sense to me. I guess it makes sense in a way, but I'm just not buying it. They're using that he's stinky. It's like, yeah, he's stinky. He's just eating shit all day.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the body odor coming off of somebody that's just eating crap their entire life?
Not good.
No.
Not good. Yeah. I think, especially at the time, with it being a lot stronger religious time when it comes to the world, that probably lent that belief as well.
Yeah, there's like a default cop-out answer.
Yeah, because like back then, religion was seen as probably more mainstream than science at that point, and that could make sense. So I think maybe that is where that probably came from. But what it comes down to is this guy did have a strange body that, to this day, other than the mental disorders that we attribute to him, we don't know why he had this massive stomach, this giant mouth, this huge esophagus that you could look right down and see the pit of his stomach. All of that doesn't really make sense. Possible mutation, maybe, as James was talking about. Maybe I think there might be something to that. What are your guys' theories on what Tarrare could be? If you have any of these ones, or if you have your own.
I'm sticking with the gut bacteria weird thing, I think.
Yeah, I would say I agree with that. Some kind of mutation in the gut affecting the brain. Nothing's wired correctly.
And everything stretches over time. So like his esophagus and his mouth didn't necessarily start huge, but they just get stretched. The skin stretches, like as it gets bloated up, his stomach will stretch over time, the skin all around it. I think it's just, humans are adaptive, and that's one way they adapt is people can stretch.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
Yeah, I think just that this guy was eating all this shit too, like that helped just stretch everything out. You know what I mean? Like this guy was eating. Who knows? I mean, we don't know anything about his childhood.
No. Right?
Nothing about his childhood. Like, who knows what he was doing when he was a child?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Maybe he had this strange mutation. I mean, we know that he was on a farm. Maybe he got kicked by a horse, causing the brain injury that could also apply to this. But, without the knowledge of where he came from, we don't even know his real name. There's not much else you can really look into other than that autopsy report.
The name's probably Corey, though, if I had to guess.
I do like to eat a lot of different things. I haven't tried human yet, but I would.
We've talked about before trying a baby or two.
That's so interesting. Tell me more.
Well, there's not too much to tell. It's just one of those things where you just kind of...
Just a little sliver.
You kind of wonder what them big fat thighs taste like, you know what I mean?
Mike likes his head cheese. All right?
I do like a good head cheese.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
do like a good head cheese.
Oh,
babies don't have the good head cheese. That's more like your brother-in-law.
Oh, he's got huge head cheese.
Yeah, he's got like... He could feed this dude with his head cheese for sure.
Yeah. At least 2 days worth for this guy.
If I ever see you guys in person, you offer to make me a meal, I'm going to look at the drumsticks with suspicion. I'm just saying.
Oh, yeah. I would.
We'll come to Canada.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
We'll come.
Okay. Pack a winter coat. You'll be good.
I'm not allowed in Canada, so Corey will be there.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Had an incident at the border many years ago. I'm not allowed back. We don't need to get to that.
With a moose.
Yeah, it's a big thing.
It happens. What can I say?
A moose and a beaver. Squirrel was watching. It was weird.
And Mike's butt. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it's weird. We don't need to get in anymore.
I'm sorry.
Happens to the best of us.
Don't listen to this one, Mom.
Sorry, James' mom.
Well, guys, with that is all I have for you on the strange case of the man called Tarrare. Do we wish to go to our conclusions?
Before that, is there like a name of the medical journal or something to bring this somewhat into reality?
You can look up Francois Pierre Percy's medical journal. You can find it, I'm pretty sure. The problem is that it's all in French, so it's been translated a few times.
Sorry, what did you say his last name was? Francois Pierre
Percy. And there was a book written in 1896, but I forget the name of it off the top of my head. And it was basically taking the reports of not just Percy, but also Tessier and Corville, and I think one of the doctor that analyzed Tarrare's condition, and they just wrote about it in this medical marvels sort of book. It is confirmed that these reports are real. They are true. They are confirmed real. But some people think that maybe the translation caused possible exaggeration.
How do you confirm a medical journal from 400 years ago is real?
200.
200. What year is it?
2026.
Shit. Oh, gotcha.
Yes, sorry about that, brother.
I don't do math on weekends.
Yeah, no, I get you. This because also the reason that we know it's real is because this is still talked about in medical studies. Like, still medical professionals look at this and don't know what to exactly make of Tarrare other than these theories like chronic pica, intestinal parasites, polyphagia, maybe a mixture of all of these to make this strange enigma that we know as Tarrare. But anyway.
Yeah, it's definitely a bit of a head scratcher.
It is. It is.
The unhinged jaw part is what gets me. Like everything else makes sense in a weird way, you know. And I'm sure it's exaggerated some of the stuff that he ate when he was for the freak show and stuff like that, you know, or the circus or whatever I don't know what they call it.
Yeah.
Circuit de Freak.
Circuit de Freak. We'll go with that.
Circuit de Freak. Yeah.
But yeah, the unhinged jaw's weird, very snake-like. I guess that would play into like a demonicness of it in a way. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, snakes are tied to the demonic stories and stuff a lot of the time, so that's probably another thing that added to that as well. But yeah, no, it's a weird one.
That was real weird. That got weird in there.
I say it's borderline disgusting and disturbing.
It is. It's very disturbing. So I told you it's going to be a little different one today.
I think the scariest part was when Corey said he swallowed a lead ball. A freaking lead ball, dude. I still can't get over that. Lead.
That's fucking true, dude. 100% true.
It's still in there. You know it is.
It might be. Dude. I don't know.
We'll fear your stomach next time I'm with you.
Is James going to give his score, though? I want to hear James' score. That's all I care about.
Well,
not quite there yet, just about.
Oh,
we can go to our conclusions, and I will get scores from all three of you today. With that, let's go to our conclusions. So today, James, Corey, and Mike, on the case of the man called Tarrare, we have a strange medical anomaly of a man who could eat inanimate objects, living animals, buffets made for 15 people, blood, garbage, anything that he could eat, he ate. And there's medical journals proving this man existed, and he's still talked about today. Whether or not he's paranormal is still up for discussion. Now, on our show, we have a scale from 1 to 5. 1, I'm an idiot. 2, you're skeptical. 3, you're on the fence. 4, there's something strange here. 5, Tarrare is a paranormal entity beyond human comprehension. Where do we come down to today? Mike, you go first.
I go first? Okay. I'm going to go with a 4. Unless James goes with a 5, then I will switch to a 5. So I think that's the best way I can do it. No, I don't think it. I can't lean on the side of like totally paranormal. I think there is something probably logical with him, but there's definitely something going on there.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I think, yeah, there's something weird about him. He's an anomaly for a reason. So yeah, I totally get that. Corey.
I'm right there on a 4 as well, just because of some of my experience working with juveniles who have, one, eaten a light bulb and some other shit that they've eaten that I've heard about, in my, past experience. But I believe with this guy, there was some exaggeration with some of the story that just kind of, exploded over time. But I'm going to stick with a 4. I'm going to stick with that. Kraken Cans, 4.
An 8.
Kraken Cans, 4.
An 8.
An 8.
Yeah. Yeah. We're getting all confused out there.
All right. So the Kraken Cans guys are down to a 4. And I do think there's something to the exaggeration, especially with the translated journals. They were written in 1804, translated in the late 1800s, and then have been translated more ever since. Definitely a game of telephone could be involved in that, so I could see how things could be exaggerated over time. James?
Yes.
Where do you come down to today? You gonna break my heart again?
We'll see. Well, I mean, perfectly honest, most of the story in this conversation, I've been sitting around a 1. I was like, this is bullshit. Like, what the hell are we even talking about? It's gross. Like, none of that even sounds close to real. But as we discussed more of it and put some actual kind of theories to it and such like that, and think more about it, it's brought me up a little bit.
Okay.
I do think there was, like what you're saying there, definitely some translation errors. Maybe there's 100% a lot of exaggeration. I don't know if a baby was eating 5 times the regular amount and not gaining any weight, but maybe. I think today come down to 4.
4! We got 3 4s! And you know what? Fuck it. I'm not gonna be a Debbie Downer. I'm a 4 as well. Let's fucking go.
Shit!
That's your podcast first 16 right there. First 16.
Right. This is the highest score we've ever had.
This is awesome.
That is awesome. Normally
Yeah,
I jump up and scream, but I don't want to destroy you guys.
I think if you ignore all the obvious BS, there's something going on.
Okay, yeah, definitely. I think there's something weird to Tarrare. Yeah, 100%. And especially, I think, with Tessier's autopsy report, like, there wasn't much. That was more scientific, right down to the fact, like, just this is what we see. Percy's report seemed a lot more flowery in his verbiage. So, we do have strange results from what we've seen here. So, yeah, 4. Something strange with Tarrare. With that, thank you for listening, everybody. We got to an equal 4 among all 4 of us today on the case of the man called Tarrare. If you like what we're doing here, please follow us on all of our social media, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. The link is in the description of every episode, and we post all of our case photos for every case every Friday. There's not going to be many for this one since it was 200 years ago. But still, if you enjoy what
Literally
we're doing,
none.
if you enjoy what we're doing here, you can rate and follow on Spotify, subscribe on YouTube. It really goes a long way. And also, share with your friends. Word of mouth is the best advertisement, and it is free. If you have any case ideas, if I missed something, or if you have evidence from your own cases, you can email us at darkdocentpod@gmail.com. Also, go listen to our friends, the Kraken Cans Cast. These guys kick ass. They're a great show. They're great dudes. They're our American brothers, and we're really happy to have you guys on today. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank you very much.
I was talking, James. No.
You never stop. When do I say something?
I'm kidding. It's okay. Where can our fans listen to your show?
You can find us on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, pretty much anywhere podcasts can be heard. We are on. If you want to follow us on social, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. We are doing 3 to 4 shorts a week, usually with all our episodes and stuff. So if you're listening on audio only and you want to get a good look at our ugly mugs, make sure to head over there. We got those shorts, videos. They're fun.
Awesome. Sounds great. Well, with that, James, any words to the wise?
I think a short and sweet one today. You are what you eat. People.
And Corey's a lead ball, and I'm a crayon. That's where we're at.
I'm a horse.
A horse. Yes.
There you have it.
Wise words from a wiser man. Corey, Mike, you guys want to get us out of here?
Sure. So the way we always end our show is we insult each other. So I'm Crack Daddy Mike. I'm out of here, and Corey's stupid.
Mike's dumb.
You didn't even say your name.
I don't need to. I'm the BK. I'm the BK Corey, and Mike is dumb. DUMB dumb.
That's all we got. That's the best we can come up with.
Thank you for listening, everybody. We'll see you on the next one.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.